So Lebron James is one of the best athletes of our time, basically. And today we're going to break down if he's good at working out or not. Stay tuned. So we're breaking down his squat right now, and not the best thing I've ever seen. So one, the feet are way too wide. Two, the knees are collapsing. Three, he's not going that deep, but it's fine. A quarter squat for basketball players is actually really good in certain occasions. I think it's a complete waste of time, but whatever. Fourth, I understand what he's trying to do. He's pushing his hips back, so he's trying to get a hip hinge movement involved. It's like, why not do deadlifts, one? And two, his back is hyperextending as much as it possibly could. And when you hyperextend your back and there's weight on top of the back, you're literally trying to snap your spine this way. And then as he comes up, he pushes his hips forward. So he's trying to snap it this way. And then as he comes up, he's pushing it forward. So it's like, I get what he's trying to do. When you're jumping, you're using your hips to do it. It's like, just do a deadlift. Why are we squatting this way? Like, it just really doesn't make sense for so many reasons. And it looks painful. It doesn't look fun. It looks painful. And I mean, if the guy wasn't an absolute genetic specimen, he would be in pain every time he did this movement. So it's just, I don't get it. And the real issue is, younger kids see LeBron doing a squat like this, and they want to go do it. And coming from a guy who destroyed his spine at 14 years old, this really hits home. And it's like, I don't know if he knows that he's doing it wrong, and he's just kind of trying to flex that he's doing it wrong, and he's just so strong, it's fine. But if your average 12, 13, 14-year-old tries to squat this way with the feet too wide and the knees collapse and the weird rounding of the lower back and the pushing of the hips forward, and it's not even a full squat, it's just such a bad idea. Please do not squat like this. I beg you, please do not. So now we're looking at this weird balance on a medicine ball on his knees, and he's holding a kettlebell up by his head. And then his trainer that I really respect a lot comes in and puts an even smaller kettlebell on top of it. And this, I guess it makes sense from the outside looking in, but training as an athlete, you always want to have your feet at least on the ground. Like, there's no position in basketball where you're on your knees and you're trying to improve balance on your knees. Put him on a terracore, put his feet on the terracore, and have him, I don't hate the kettlebell thing, but it's just like, it's so risky. And like, if any kid tries to do this, they are gonna fall and they're gonna hurt themselves and it's gonna be bad. And they probably wouldn't sue LeBron, but like, they probably should. Honestly, like, this is just the most risky thing I've ever seen. And again, if you're an athlete, all of your movements should be with your feet on the ground, not trying to flex, how weird your movements are, and you're trying to reinvent the wheel with putting a kettlebell on top of a kettlebell. It's just, there's so many better ways to do this. There's so many better balance exercises to do this. And at the end of this short, he actually fails and falls forward, and the trainer has to catch the kettlebells. So it's like, if you're trying to do this on your own and you're doing it till failure, like, you are gonna fall. It's impossible to do it safely, and you're gonna have to throw the kettlebell and then catch yourself in a weird position. So it's like, just as a general rule, as an athlete, if you can, do a movement where your feet are in the ground or you're at least standing on something that's improving your balance. There's nothing in any sport where you need to improve your balance on your knees, okay? The trainer has to come in and catch it. And they cut at that point, which is kind of funny. So watch, he's like, and he literally has to cut, and they cut right at that point where, and they probably have another trainer that comes in the back, and, has to catch him, preventing him from falling. Somebody that's out of shot, but it's just like, oh my goodness, what's happening? Literally, look,
I can't believe it.
Your video's unavailable. Like, I sent it to you the other day.
Yeah, no, it's, you know, I messaged you.
It's so absurd.
There.
So, there's one video where I saw him with a really wide stance, and he's doing a behind the head press. And it must be so bad that, you know, now it says the video is unavailable and the video is removed by the uploader. I don't know if they heard that I was going to be talking crap about him, but they really deleted off it. But it's a wide stance, and he's behind the head, which is so risky for the shoulders. And it's not that risky exercises are bad, but it's like, as a basketball player, why would you do anything that's stressing your shoulder and your neck? And again, with a super wide base, nobody, especially in basketball, there's no explosive movements where the base is super wide like that. It just doesn't make any sense. And they definitely caught wind that I was going to be talking crap because they deleted it off of YouTube. So kind of smart on their end, but not in time for me to not see it a little bit and talk some shit. So he's doing rapid fire shoulder presses, like sitting down, which is actually something I don't mind, you know? So that one kind of makes sense, but it's like, I'd much rather him be doing it, you know, slow and controlled, coming down slow and then exploding coming up, versus just kind of rapid fire. And he's doing it with 30 pounds, and it's like, it's clearly not enough weight to really stimulate any type of muscle growth or any type of improvement in power or potentiation. It just doesn't make any sense. And next he's doing like it's a cable crossover, but it's low. So it's like it's a cable crossover where it's coming across, but it's like you're only activating the lats and like the lower rotator cuff, versus like a cable crossover where you're coming back into it. And it's like, it's a reverse cable crossover. All right, stop talking shit. And then we're coming across, but it's like, come up here. Don't go down here. And then he does one after where it's like he's doing a lat pull down across, and then he's extending his triceps. So it's just like, I mean, it just seems like movements that just shows that he has muscle without actually improving any type of athleticism or muscle stimulus. So, I mean, it's fine for him, clearly, but if you're a kid, don't do what you're seeing LeBron do in the weight room. What you're seeing LeBron do on the court, do that if you can. So, okay, good news. There's actually something that makes sense a little bit. So he's doing a rotational explosion with one arm where he's coming across, and it's like, it's the only one that makes a little bit of sense. So he's getting into a push laterally where he's getting into triple extension of the back hip and the back knee and the back ankle. And he's driving through, and it's like, that one actually does kind of make sense. So like, hey, good LeBron, you're not doing a complete waste of time in the gym. And then he's getting into slow shrugs with like 10 pounds. It's like, first off, as a basketball player, you don't want big traps. And if like you're doing this for health, it's like, there's so many better movements to do. And then he's doing the next movement. I mean, it's a shoulder raise where it's trap dominant shoulder raise. So he's getting it into where he's pulling backwards. So it's like it's a weird rotator cuff movement. I mean, there's so many better movements to do for this. Where like you could do, you know, external rotation of the shoulder. You could do external rotation of the shoulder, but focusing on the lat. You could do, there's so many things. Instead of kind of jerking the dumbbells going back and behind you. I mean, this is the only video that like I really don't hate, but like I still like, there's so many better things to do. I mean, a landmine press would be better than a rotational explosion with a cable machine. At least you can do it explosively. He's just kind of doing it for balance. And then the shrug, don't even waste your time doing shrugs if you're a basketball player. Because like, no basketball player has big traps. It's like, show me a basketball player in the last 20 years who's walking around with big traps. If anything, it makes it harder to shoot. And then the weird shoulder raise going back into, I mean, Jesus Christ. It's just so bad. And then, you know, the core movement I actually like. It's a jackknife on the medicine ball where he's holding onto the free motion cable machine, which I got over here. It's pretty good, but it's like you can do it better where the legs are actually straight, and you're better off just doing it on a bench. It's jackknifes on a stability ball, medicine ball, but I mean, Yeah, again, I shouldn't really be getting into him for this, but he's the best athlete on earth. Like, you shouldn't be doing this shit in the gym. You're the best athlete on earth. Like, make it make sense to your sport. There's so many better things to do. And I'll break that down in another video, like a better, just alternatives for all of these movements that are so much better, and I'll actually get into it and show you what's up, but just don't work out like LeBron, please. Just don't, especially for a basketball player, especially for a kid. Oh my God. I'm depressed. I'm just depressed watching him do what he just did. I mean, it's just, the guy will succeed no matter what he does. You know, he clearly has yes men trainers that don't really know. They're trying to reinvent the wheel. You know, just do the basics and do things that make sense for your sport. Please, especially if you're the best athlete on earth and you're spending $1 million a year on recovery and strength and conditioning. I mean, for the love of God, I mean, it's just bad. It's just bad. So I'm in a little bit better mood now. So if you could, give me a follow for more breakdowns of videos, and they're not all going to be this hating and depressing of a video where I'm just talking shit about somebody the whole time. It'll actually be, I'm going to do some good workouts. I'm going to break down, guys like James Harrison, guys like Christian McCaffrey, who actually work out well, Kevin Durant, the guys that actually know what they're doing and have trainers that don't absolutely suck. But yeah, follow for more. Hey, why not? Subscribe, follow, like, comment, all that.